somewhere on your decluttering journey, you're probably going to give up. I want to talk about why, and I think the first reason is something that you thought you would never hear me say. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and I help you live a simpler, happier, more spacious life. And if this first reason isn't true for you, then stick around because I will be discussing more practical things afterwards. But if you find yourself stalling on your decluttering journey, it may be because decluttering and minimalism just isn't for you. Listen, in recent years it has become very trendy to be minimalist or to declutter a lot of your stuff, and it seems like it is everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. You're hearing about it from people online. They're all telling you how great it is. I have been shouting from the rooftops for years about all of the benefits of decluttering and living a more kind of simplified lifestyle, but there are benefits to other things that I have no intention of involving myself in. For instance, many benefits to quitting sugar and like just cutting sugar out of your diet, but honestly, just like pry a strawberry trifle out of my cold hands. Marathons, okay, training for a marathon or just running regularly, plenty of benefits, but I still will not be doing it. So just because there are benefits to something doesn't necessarily mean that you will benefit as much from it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it. I still think you should give it the good old college try, but just might not work for you. My husband, for instance, wonderful human being, love him a lot, but he has no interest in decluttering. He has absolutely no interest in the minimalist lifestyle. He's still a great person. So just because people on the internet, including myself, are telling you how great it is, you don't have to do it. If you prefer a more maximalist lifestyle, go for it. Putting myself out of business here. But maybe you're thinking, no, decluttering definitely is for me. I really want that minimalist lifestyle. I have too much stuff and it's driving me crazy. I want to clear it out. There are several more reasons why you still might quit, and I'm going to go through each of them, but I think this next one is probably the foundational one. Like all of the others really come back to this reason. You are just not seeing the results that you want to see or the results that you expect to see. Now, this could be because of a number of factors, and like I said, the reasons afterwards, we'll kind of dive into some of them, but I think one of the biggest is that you are not prioritizing the right things. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I talk frequently about the benefits of focusing on visible surfaces, visible spaces. And I mean that in two senses of the word. So number one is actual visible, like when you walk into a room, what are the spaces that you can physically see? But also then in the other sense of the word, which are the spaces that you interact with on a regular basis. So just because your utensil drawer in your kitchen isn't something that you can visibly see when you walk into the room, it is a space that you probably interact with at least once, if not multiple times a day. Those are the spaces that you really need to focus on first, because it's all well and good clearing out a junk drawer or clearing out a closet, but if you're not actually looking at that space or interacting with that space or using that space on a regular basis, you're not going to see the benefits and you're not going to get the benefits. You could declutter 90% of your house, you know, have it all streamlined, all the clutter gone, but it could be your attic, your basement, your garage, a guest room. Meanwhile, the place that you're actually interacting with the most, let's say your kitchen countertops or your dining room table, if those spaces are cluttered, the rest of it is just not going to matter. Focus first on the spaces where you are going to reap immediate and regular rewards. Another reason might be that you're just taking on too much and then you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling defeated. Probably heard it said, but it bears repeating, that you did not create this clutter overnight. Like, this has been an accumulation of years, maybe even decades. So to think that you're going to be able to deal with it in one day or one weekend or even in a week, probably not realistic. And I definitely know that, you know, when you start out on a decluttering journey or you watch a decluttering video, you read a decluttering book and you're full of motivation, you're full of inspiration and you're ready to go, that quickly fizzles out once you have pulled out all of your stuff. We bite off more than we can chew because our vision is usually bigger than what we can actually accomplish in the small amount of time that we have. And I'm so guilty of this. I'm like, right, I'm ready to tackle this. Like, we're doing it. And I pull everything out and then I'm like, ugh, what have I done? Look, you're going to get tired, you're going to get distracted, you're going to get interrupted, you're going to get hungry, you're just going to get fed up. And then, like I said with the previous reason, when you're not seeing those results, when you're not seeing immediate results, and particularly if you pull things out of a big space, you're actually going to make things worse, or it's going to seem worse initially. That is really going to break your momentum and break your spirit. Again, focus on those smaller, quick, visible wins. Break spaces down. If you watch my recent kitchen cleaning video, you'll know that I broke each space down. So like each surface, so the one from like the wall to the sink, the one between the sink and the oven, etc. That meant that my goal wasn't getting the entire kitchen clean, which I knew was going to take me a while, but it was just getting that one surface clear. So like the kitchen island. Much easier to achieve, much quicker to achieve, and then gives me a great feeling that will keep my momentum going and make me want to tackle another space. But even if after I tackle that one small space, I then get interrupted or have to go do something else, I still feel like I have achieved something. Whereas if my goal was the entire kitchen all in like one go, and then I got interrupted after I had done the kitchen island, I wouldn't have the same sense of satisfaction because I would feel like I had failed at my goal. Does that make sense? It's like lots of little goals that can add up to a bigger goal, but you feel like you're achieving more along the way. You can still tackle an entire room going like corner by corner, drawer by drawer, cupboard by cupboard. Get a win under your belt and then go from there. Now, I won't lie, this next one is a big one and it's probably the most frustrating one of all. You are going to quit if you declutter a space and then it ends up recluttered. Here's why this is so awful. It's because you have put in a huge amount of effort and then it seems like all of that effort has gone to waste. Let's talk about a few different ways to stop that. One of the biggest is that you need to stem the flow of clutter. And what I mean by that is, as you know, part of daily life, clutter is coming in. Sometimes you bring it in the form of shopping. Sometimes it just enters your home in the form of mail, flyers, your kids' artwork. As quickly as you are getting stuff out, there is an influx of new stuff coming in. You need to stop that. There are many ways you can do this. Let me give you some quick examples. For the shopping one, just avoid the shops, or if you are going and you kind of feel the need to buy something, focus on things that could be gifts for others, things that aren't going to clutter up your home, or focus on consumable things, things that you will use up. When it comes to papers and mail, get yourself off mailing lists. This can be digital as well, so all the newsletters that come into your inbox, if you're not interested in them, unsubscribe. Look at the types of things that you are decluttering and ask yourself, how can I stop this type of thing from coming into my home in future? That is one major way for you to stop recluttering your space. But then it comes down to your daily habits and routines. You need to get into a more minimalist mindset if you want to keep the clutter at bay. I was so bad at this at the beginning. You know, I was decluttering a lot, but I was also shopping a lot. So as I was getting rid of stuff, I was bringing more stuff in, and you're not really going to see a difference if there's new stuff just replacing the old. Put those good habits in place, like a daily tidy up, or every weekend you will declutter 5 more things, or whatever will work for you, or replace your bad habits. So maybe you had a habit of just strolling around the shops on the weekend as kind of something to do, some retail therapy. Try and replace that with a different type of habit. Maybe you go out for lunch with friends instead. Look at the activities that are causing clutter to pile up and then change those. And it could be something as simple as putting a bin beside the couch, or look at the places where all the papers are piling up and put a basket there, and then get into a habit of once a week going through those papers and dealing with them. Form those habits, form those routines, so that once you get rid of the clutter, it stays gone. Or for the stuff that does come in, because let's face it, stuff will come in, you have a good way of dealing with it. And if this recluttering is a big issue for you, again, I've done a whole separate video on this, so I will link that for you. Lots of great ideas for keeping the clutter out. I'm only going to cover this next one briefly, but it's definitely a big reason why you would quit decluttering, and that is that you are expecting decluttering to make your home tidy magically or to make you a more organized person. And it's just not the case, because let's face it, you could be the most minimalist person in the world. Like, you might have 5 items to your name total, but if those 5 items are strewn all over your floor, it's still going to look messy. Now, yes, having more stuff definitely makes it a little bit more difficult to keep things tidy. It definitely can make it more difficult to be organized, but not necessarily. There are plenty of people who have a ton of stuff, but it looks nice and it's all organized. If by decluttering alone, you're expecting your home to look like it belongs on the front of a magazine or something, you're going to be disappointed, and then you're going to quit. You're going to think, why does my home not look like the homes on Pinterest? You know, I've got rid of all of this stuff. Why does my home still look messy? And it's because those homes on Pinterest, those homes on magazines are like curated that way. There are people who have styled them that way. They're not an accurate reflection of real life. You have to live in your home. Maybe you have to work in your home. You play in your home. You relax and entertain in your home. You're using stuff on a regular basis, taking stuff out, putting stuff away. You're living in your home, not just styling your home. But decluttering alone is not going to make your home immaculate. It might get you a big step closer to that, but in and of itself, decluttering is not tidying. It is not styling, it's not designing. If you focus more on how your home feels or how you feel in it rather than how it looks, that is where you are really going to reap the benefits of decluttering. So you know you can declutter a space and not have it look tidy, but maybe you have decluttered, you've tidied, you've organized, you've styled, you've done all of the things, and it still does not feel right. Fix these problems and you're going to get the full benefit. Until then, gur míle mágwebh. Agus feici mé sibh se glua. Slán!